Hello everybody. Today we're going to be cleaning and servicing another fan. this time it is a Holmes made Comfort Edge brand 12-inch oscillating desk fan. This fan works just fine. There's not a thing wrong with it. If you don't believe me, here it is. It's a very powerful fan. It's a great find. I've never heard of the Comfort Edge brand until I saw this. But yeah, I got this on Facebook Marketplace for originally listed at $10. I got it for $5 because they couldn't figure out how to turn the oscillation off and on. But I fixed it by turning it off. Anyway, it's in pretty good shape for its age and for a Holmes fan. It's got a couple yellowed parts, like the switch knob is yellowed in front of the motor housing. The base, but other than that, it's pretty good. Here's information. Bring the camera up to it. It is the Holmes model HAOF 1200 electric fan, 0.5 amps. So it is the PSC motor. Alright, so let's jump right into it with the disassemblies. It's not in frame. Alright, so the guard is it's got little plastic clips all the way around the rear guard, and the front kind of just snaps into place. It is a bit finicky, but there's a little bit of working, you can get it off. That's fairly clean. Very clean, actually. This actually has a metal thread in it, which I did not expect. There's the blade, which has some warpage. Very minimal. Very minimal right there. This one's a bit worse. That one's the same as the first one. So yeah, very minimal warping on these. Shaft is a bit dirty. I need to get the sandpaper out. I hope not, because I don't know where it is. So the rear of the guard is plastic. It's got this little plastic nut holding it on. The rear guard, one thing I noticed on the Holmes branded ones, they had another slat that goes in between these, but on this one there's not that, which makes it a bit flimsier, but it's way more aerodynamic. So this design is actually better. Don't know why they didn't use that on all the fans, just this one. And they got two screws holding this motor cover on, the front of it at least. The base is take apartable, but we don't need to do that yet. The motor, very good size motor in these fans. Remove the knob, which doesn't want to be removed right now. We got two screws in the back here holding the switch on. And once you take the switch out, there's another screw that holds the rear motor housing on. That one's very loose. Now, the motor cover cannot really be removed all the way because the switch is in there, which is kind of dumb. So unfortunately, I'm gonna have to remove the wires from the switch. So I gotta grab my X-Acto knife. Oh great, the blade is broken on my X-Acto, the knife. I don't really have anything else to get that out with. Let me check my bin of goodies. Found these pointy tip pliers. These might work. Might be too big also. Nope. Perfect size. I gotta write this down somewhere so I don't forget, because I will forget. I also don't know where my Sharpie went. That's great. I can just look back at the video. But green is high, yellow is medium, red is low, and white, of course, is L. Alright. That problem dealt with. Why is there a wire running through there? That's so cheesy. That wire did not need to run through there at all. Needed to run back here. Much easier to work with if it did run back here originally. But we got the fan apart, so I'll stop yammering. So then on the oscillation switch there is just a slit down the middle. I'm gonna pry that open and the switch can pull off. There's screws still inside there. There's some dust in there, and there's a big red mark in there. No clue what that's from. Some dust in there, but it's not bad. I don't feel like this fan got used that much over the years. So there's the motor. It's got a what is it? 2 microfarad capacitor in it. It's good to know. Slightly small stator, but it's a cool looking motor design. Look at it from the front. It's really cool looking. So now we can take this stand off of the base. You got this little, this little wing nut down here. Not wing nut, just a twisty deal. It's a pretty long screw. When that comes out, you can just pull the whole thing off. The base has that brittle plastic sound to it. That's awesome. Alright, so motor time. Let's get into the motor here. So tools, you need the toothbrush for dust removal. Wow. This is a thoroughly used one. And we gotta remove this little piece that holds the blade in place. Just kind of pulls off the shaft with a pair of pliers. Don't yank it too hard, you don't want to mess up the shaft. Actually, we gotta get the fan running for this to get that off, or to get all the dust off of that, off of the shaft. I guess I could try without it running. Won't be as effective. There's a lot of hair on it. Shaft definitely got some rust on it, so you know, this is kind of difficult without it spinning on its own. You know what? I'm going to take a wire nut and just connect high speed to the power. I don't recommend doing this, so don't try it. But connect the power to the high speed, and it should turn on when I plug it in. And then we can much easier to clean off the shaft. Don't let that happen now. Alright, so it should be good to remove now. You can go ahead and disconnect the wire nut. So, try not to get your hand in this red stuff. Oh wait, never mind, it's just Loctite. I thought that was grease. I don't know. So we gotta remove the oscillation arm from the stop moving. Come on. Gonna remove the oscillation arm from the gearbox. Is it reverse thread? No, it's just stuck. And we gotta remove the wire nut from the cord because the whole cord is about to come off the motor. But after you get that oscillating arm off, take out this screw. I don't think you gotta take it out, no, just loosen this little screw. Great, that's cracking. But yeah, after you loosen that screw, you can take the whole motor off of the neck, just like that. Pretty sure this is the same piece that they use to connect to the pedestal fan stand, so it's the same process for that. It is the same piece, the exact same piece. Where'd my wipe go? Where did my wipe go? Clean off my hand. There's some grease on it. Alright. Let's get into the motor here. So we got to remove the rear. We just got to remove the cover, and there's 4 screws around the whole thing that hold it in place. I would recommend getting a little like bag or something to hold all the screws in, but I'm elite and I don't need that. If any of the screws start to strip out, just put a little pressure on them. It's fine to do that. These ones are coming out no problem, but sometimes they're a real pain. Try to keep all the washers connected to the screws because I don't want them flying everywhere, and I'm probably going to lose one if it does fly everywhere. Those are super easy to remove. And when you put these back in, they shouldn't be super tight. That came off super easily. So put that aside. The rotor cannot pull out from the front. So if you get this like where it won't pull out, don't force it, because that's pressing up against the windings. I don't want to pull that out and mess up the windings. So instead we're going to pull out the stator, which is connected to the capacitor, of course it is. So we're going to have to get some wire nuts and put like splice these wires back together later, because for some reason they had to be super short, soldered to the capacitor. It's unfortunate, because I'm just going to cut them. Leave enough room on each side too. I'm going to cut the zip tie also, that's not going to make it through the little access hole. Very gentle with this step. No, you can pull the whole thing out. Here's the rear of the motor. Just so you know, there shouldn't be any grease inside of that rear bearing. Which there is right now, but we'll get that out, don't worry. So put that aside for the moment. And I'm going to clean off this shaft. Seems to be in really nice shape. There's enough grease in the back of that gearbox to repopulate this shaft with grease when I put it back in there. I could pull out some polish and polish up this shaft, but it's already running super free. I don't think that'll be necessary. So since I don't want that to rust up, I'm gonna grab my not known location paper towels. No clue where they are. Grab a paper towel, dry off the shaft when I'm done. The shaft is clean as can be. So next let's move to the stator, which doesn't have an iota of dust on it. It's remarkable. I'll just give it a gentle wipe down. Don't want to mess up any of the strings or whatever holding it in place. But I do want to make it look nice. That's looking good. This one's going to be a pretty easy project. Not much to do really. I'm probably going to take off the oscillation box when I do the rear bearing so that no grease gets stuck to the paper towel when I pull it back through. Not really any bad oil or grease in there. Give the motor a wipe down as well. There is some dust in these vents, which there should be. That's what they're there for. Alright. So now, we're going to grab the good 3-in-1 oil, the motor oil, which is made for fans. Right there. And we're just going to let it seep in to the oil wick or the cloth that is surrounding the bearing. Don't be afraid to put a lot in there. Not too much, but a lot. I like to put a lot in. And then clean my hand off. Just grab the rear. Remove the oscillation, the box, because that also needs to be cleaned, and I want to clean in between the box and the motor. Yeah, so all the grease should stay in the box. Because right now we got it filling up that rear bearing, which is bad. Don't want that. So, stick the paper towel through each end. Looks like earwax. And your paper towel. Make this one a lot skinnier so you can just push all the grease out to the other side. And try to pull it all the way through so that grease stays out of there. That looks pretty smooth in there to me. So let's go ahead and add the oil. These wicks look completely dry. I wonder if this thing even ever had oil in it. Yeah, put plenty in there. And we'll let the oil seep into the bearings. In the background, so now we can get to the actual cleaning of things. So let's get started with the oscillation box. Got plenty of greasy dust all over it. It's awesome. Hate grease. Populates everything it touches. I wonder if this fan was cleaned at one point. Probably not. Yeah, this looks like all the use that it ever got. There's not that much dust inside the blade. So the box is good. Put that aside. Doesn't need any more. This knob is good. Give the new wipe. Give this little fastening piece quick wipe down. This fan was not that bad to begin with, so I don't have to do that much other than give it some oil and a quick wipe. You saw that flicker in the light, it was the air conditioner turning on. So the front of this piece isn't really yellowed. It's more so the sides because that's what is exposed to the sun. Really only one side. I bet you this sat in a window or in front of a window. That only really directly hit it one direction. It is yellowed. It's not brittle yet, which is great. Brittle plastic is awesome. It's awful. Nice little wipe down, and that's good to go. Just the rear motor cover. Plenty of dust in here. This is where most of it usually is. Yeah, this sticker. Left us plenty of residue. Thanks, sticker. I wonder what that big red marking is from. The inside is good. Gonna have to get a new wipe because that one's got red all over it now. Yeah, this is perfectly flexible still. Nothing wrong with it. Sun damage wise. The wipes cap got in the way. Most of that sticker came off. That's not really a big concern to me since it's on the rear motor housing. If it was on like the blade or the badge, I would spend more time on that, but I don't think I would. This already was a showpiece, but it's going to look much better. Pretty nice looking. Couple smudges all over it, but it's not bad. Alright, next up is the switch knob, which isn't really dirty, it's just kind of scuffed up. Let me see if I can get any of those out. They look like they're coming out a little bit. And that's good. Alright, next up, the oscillator knob. This is unusually dirty. Don't know why. I think someone's having a cookout outside. It smells like barbecue. Now I'm hungry. Probably go eat after this video. Alright, that piece is done. Here's the blade. Might have to zoom out, but does it fit? Oh, it does. Okay. Again, the blade is very clean, doesn't need much work at all. Quick wipe down for each blade. Should be good. Only on my second paper towel. I usually go through a lot of paper towels for some reason. Doing pretty good. The blade is not yellowed at all. Great. Alright. At the rear of the blade. Much dustier. The dust is in kind of a weird spot. This might have been cleaned at one point. The motor's not that dusty, so I don't know. It's an interesting case. But the blade has dust markings all over it, like it was used a lot. Maybe it was just used and like that little bit of dust got stuck to the blades. Don't know how that would happen, but it's just a thought. There's like a glue mark on this blade. I got this from a pretty big house, like almost a mansion. People are really nice. Alright, the blade is all the way done. Looking very nice. Wow! Look at that blade. Look how shiny it is. Put that aside. Now we got the rear guard. It's got a little bit of dust accumulation, mainly around where it would connect to the motor. This is also a bit yellowed, not too bad. These plastic guards are somewhat difficult to clean. I don't really want to go outside and put this in a wash tub because it's not that dirty. It doesn't really need that. Again, there's some smudges on this, like crayon marks. Yeah, this doesn't really need to be wiped down at all, actually. There's a couple of jagged spots of plastic that caught pieces of the wipe in them. But yeah, that's good. That's plenty cleaned now. Wow. Starting a clean pile on the floor. Now this is one of the worst scuffs on the whole fan. Straight across the badge. It's just awesome. I hate smudges. We spend a lot more effort on this smudge than any of the other ones, because like I said, it's right across the badge. I should try some magic eraser if the wipes don't work. Apparently it's called melamine foam. Never heard of that. Or it might be something that's not worth messing with. I think if I can get it mostly cleaned up, I'll leave it. Which I am getting it mostly cleaned up. Most of it is gone. The big streak across the middle is gone. So I think I'm just going to leave it. I think that's good enough. Definitely good enough for me. The inside of the guard is barely dirty. Quick wipe down, and the inside should be good. The blade on this fan, I feel like, isn't that big for a 12-inch desk fan. I feel like they could have filled up the guard a little bit more. Oh, I got the fabric wet. At least it's just white. At least it's just like soapy water. There's also a smudge on the guard. A couple of them. Oh, that's actually paint leaving us. I was able to get one of them to come out, but the rest of them look like it's just paint chips. So I don't think I'm gonna mess with that for that long. The guard is already pretty nice to begin with, so I think it's good. It is, I don't want to mess it up anymore. Alright, just got a couple more pieces left here before I can reassemble it. The base. I've seen a few instances where these like warp, the bases will warp. Thankfully that hasn't happened to this one, and I can still stand it up and not have it wobble all over the place. It does wobble a little bit, which is kind of weird. But it's not horrible. All the feet are still present. It's also starting to become a rare thing with these vintage desk fans. And the pedestal fans, the end caps and the feet on these vintage fans is starting to go missing. They just get knocked off over the years. So I'm always happy when I get a vintage fan that would have some decorative piece on it, and it's still there. So the guard is drying right now. It doesn't look the best, but there it is. Alright, very last piece. The cord is actually pretty clean. Don't need to mess with that. But here's the neck, which is still stark white. You know what I can't wait for, guys? Can't wait for Christmas. I need to put up some Christmas lights to be happy. Alright, next we gotta reassemble. So let's grab the rear motor, whatever. Put some oil on the shaft here. Actually, I have to put the shaft in first. Put some oil on the shaft. And put that into the rear bearing. It's so smooth. Alright, so now we gotta unfortunately feed all these wires back out the end. The most difficult part is going to be these little wires. I think I got both of them. Alright, that looks good. Okay. So now we gotta get some oil on this whole entire front shaft. There is a lot. Put some in the front bearing and slip it back together. I'm only gonna put 2 screws in for right now. That was a really bad one. I'm only gonna put 2 screws in right now. I need to get a little weak hand drill because this takes a while putting all these screws in by hand. Oh, great, there's still oil on the shaft. Alright, I got the motor all put back together. It's doing pretty good. We'll let one more thing of oil run down the shaft into the bearing. And then we should be good with that. Yeah, that's plenty free. Alright, let me put in the other 2 screws, and then we'll put on the oscillating box and on the wiring, all that good stuff. Alright, now let's put it on the oscillating box. I hope there's enough grease in there to fill the threads of the shaft back up. Not going to tighten any of these screws all the way yet. Gotta get them all put on first. I like this this shaft design for the blade installation. I like it much better than the one with the pin through the shaft. That's just difficult to take apart and difficult not to damage anything. That's a big one. But this one, it's really simple. Just gotta slide this little pin in place. Gonna have to align that for sure. I might need to adjust the oscillating box as well. Yeah, that's good. I gotta grab my wire strippers and the capacitor. Gotta grab my wire strippers and the wire nuts. So I'm gonna go grab that stuff. Alright, wire nuts, wire strippers. Start with the capacitor. I'm always nervous to strip the wires coming out of the motor. I don't want to break them off from the windings. But I think I left enough room on these ones to where it shouldn't be a problem. The red one is a bit concerning. The black one is fine. Yeah, it's fine. I'll grab me 2 wire nuts out of this bag. Oh, it's spilled. That's great. I hope that can reach its old spot. No issues. It's gonna be tight. I don't think that it doesn't need to be screwed in place, but I would like to get it screwed in place. Are these wires not joining? Bro. I need to use a smaller one. What is happening? Why didn't not threading together? I need to strip one of these more. Yeah, it's definitely not going to go back in its original spot. You can just float right next to it. So the red and the white wire go on one side. The yellow and the green went on the other side, and the black one went to the cord, which was connected through the switch, but I'm not putting it back together that way. There's the neck, which doesn't tighten all the way anymore because it's cracked. Why is it cracked? Which one's the screw for this? Alright, I'm going to put the base back on. So I have to hold this up in the air while I work on it. Alright, this black wire goes to the unsoldered white one. There was a wire nut for that, but I don't know where it went. Never mind, here it is. I hope this capacitor doesn't get in the way. It shouldn't. Oh, forgot to run the wire through this little harness. Forgot to run the wire through this little harness here. But I don't know why there's so much grease on this wire. Don't think the wire's supposed to be greasy. So you gotta get the red and white on the one side. That doesn't really matter, I can Why is there so much grease everywhere in this pan? I'm just going to use this pair of pliers to yank the wires through the back here. I remember all the speeds. That's good. And the white one. Alright, here's the switch. Pretty simple reassembly. The switch is definitely the stupidest part. I hate that. Should have put the controls down in the base. And screw thread in. Great. Drop the screws. Still doesn't want to thread in. Finally. Why is the motor housing greasy again? My hand isn't even greasy. How's it getting greasy? Alright, there's 2 screws for the switch. I'm pretty sure they're these little ones. Hope it's the right one. There's a lot of extra slack on the switch wires. It would have been helpful if I put the yellow wire through the top. It works, whatever. Alright, switch knob can go on. Let's see if it works. Yay! Oh yeah, I still need to align that. Yeah, that's good. Front. Maybe that screw needs to be loose for a reason, because this doesn't fit very nicely right now. Or maybe the whole thing is warped because of the sun. Don't really know. I've got an extra screw. I don't know what it's from. No clue what it's from, actually. So, I don't know. Oops. Here's the guard. And the blade. How's this out of balance? Wasn't like that earlier. You know, maybe when I put the guard on, it'll be better. I don't remember it being like that. That's kind of weird. Yeah, it's better. How far up does it go? It's not that much. It's horrible too. It goes like 3 inches up or down. I like it more so up. So everything works. Did I mess up the speeds? It seems really slow on medium. Well, now it goes high, low, medium. So, whoops. I don't care enough to pull that back out and mess with it. It's not really a big deal. But yeah, just gonna end the cleaning and servicing of this Holmes Comfort Edge 12-inch desk fan in white. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Goodbye.